Hey everybody, it's Chrissy Key Rollins here, bringing you an energy update for today, which is Monday, March the 30th. And right now, the message that's on my heart to share is that self-care is faith in action. And I'm here to share with you 3 reasons why right now is the best time to focus on self-care. The world as a whole is showing us exactly where we should be focusing right now, on our homes, on ourselves, and how we treat and affect other people. We can tell right now, all of us are keenly aware of how our actions and the actions of others impact one another. We are, as we know, all in this together, all impacted, all affected by this, regardless of what our day-to-day personal experience is within those circumstances. But the one thing that we have in common is that the world is asking us to take a break. We have been asked to stay within our homes. We have been asked to stay still for a moment. And I know not everybody can. I know some of us still have businesses that we are running and jobs that we are upholding that are essential to keep everything running and going at this time. But the vast majority of us have been asked, have been invited, have been forced to put our attention at ourselves and at our homes. The change that we desire to see in the world, it starts with us. It starts with you, and it starts where you are. And it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be quite simple, and it can help to bring balance not only for you, but for those that are around you. So again, in this energy update, I'm going to share with you 3 reasons why right now is the best time to pay attention to your self-care and to take care of yourself. And hey, whoever just joined live, chat in, definitely drop some comments below, share some of your own personal self-care tips and why you think right now or how right now is supporting you in putting more attention on yourself. If you haven't noticed, our homes have been disrupted, and not just our households by jobs asking us to work from home, or jobs being taken away from us, or our children being brought home. But if we think about our body as our home, this is the seat of our soul. This is what carries around that tender, unseen, internal part of us that only we get to experience. But yet we take this home for our soul everywhere that we go. And our households are being shook up, our neighborhoods, our communities, our country, our world. And with that, everywhere we go, our bodies, our homes are being shook up as well. Anytime that we are disrupted, that we feel that uneasiness, that we feel that unsettledness within us, it is an invitation to put our attention to ourselves. Notice where your attention goes when things get stirred up within. We're going to look one of 2 places. We're going to look outwardly for what stimulus is triggering the feelings that we're feeling inside of ourselves. And any time that our attention isn't out there, it's going to be internal. What are we thinking? How are we planning? How are we going to get through this? What's going to happen next? And the interesting thing about this current situation is that the unknown of tomorrow and the days to come has been highlighted. We keep talking about it. I keep writing it myself, keep mentioning this time of uncertainty. And every time that I say it, I'm just reminded, all of our time is uncertain. We don't look at it that way. We don't go about our day-to-day life that way, many of us. But this invitation to slow down, to put our attention on ourselves, to pay attention what is happening within your home base as you go through day-to-day life as we know it. For those of you that have been following along, I've been speaking to this time this past week, which was kind of a big upheaval for a lot of us. I kept speaking to it as the calm before the storm. And what I want to share with this message is that I feel like we've moved into the eye of the storm. There's this calmness, this settledness that's happening amongst this new reality. Our normal day-to-day lives are still kind of an upheaval. We still can't move about as freely as we can. There's still a lot of fears and concerns that are floating out there in the world, out there in front of our eyes as we connect to our different media outlets. We're being shook up. And the way that we treat ourselves and the way that we've been treating ourselves and the way that we treat one another, it's highlighted right now. So we go through our day-to-day lives in this space of uncertainty, but we think we know what's going to happen next. And what has happened over this last couple of weeks is that all of that's been put on, kind of been shifted around a little bit. It's been highlighted that we don't know what's going to happen next. We've had a lot of upheavals that have happened, and it can be very disruptive. Hey, Colleen, so glad that you're here joining us. And thank you for all that you're doing right now to help people stay grounded and focused and centered during this shifting time. So as this time passes, we're finding ourselves in a new normal. I mean, this was our second Monday in a row of having school at home. So we need to wake up and follow our new routine and follow our new schedule. So while things are kind of settling into place, there's this calmness, although it's not our normal, although it's not like how things were, which, you know, is kind of questionable. If we think about how things were, do we want to go back to all of those things? Do we want all of that happening that was happening before? Do we want all of that to continue where we're going? This is why we get to stop and contemplate and reflect. So as we're feeling kind of this calmness, this settledness that's happening, although it's still very, very unsettling, I'm thinking of this as like the eye of the storm. And it provides some calmness, but everybody's not fully at ease because we sense that there's a little bit more storm coming. So during this time, during this eye of the storm, I'm here to remind you that, first of all, you are the storm. If you notice the upheavals, they're happening within you as well as around you. So as we feel this shift start to happen, it's a great reminder of a great time to remember who we are and what we're capable of and what it is that's backing us through this. So during this eye of the storm, before the next wave comes, because there's going to be another wave, and that's not to say beware, it's just saying be aware. Once this next storm passes, guess what, guys? We're going to have a little bit of settledness, and then another storm's going to come. This is life. If you haven't noticed, this is the way that it goes. This definitely gets highlighted as we mature and get older and go through life. It seems to be, you know, one hurdle after the next. So how can we make the most of right now? How can we, amongst all of this uncertainty, amongst all this shifting change that's happening right now, how can we easily, simply keep self-care at the top of our mind? How is that even possible? Why is right now the best time? Right now is the best time because anything that's inside of you that's unsettled is coming to the surface. You're becoming keenly aware of it. Anything that you have been doing up to this point has caught up with you, or anything that you haven't been doing up to this point. You know, that nutritional cleanse you've been putting off, or that better way of taking care of yourself, or even self-care in general that you've been putting off until when? This is why we do it ahead of time. So I feel like I'm kind of all over the place today, but these are the 3 points that I want to make for you. Why right now is the best time to focus on your self-care? Number one, your peace of mind depends on it. If you haven't been able to tell by now, media is not going to make you feel better. Memes, funny posts, they definitely help. But really what it takes in order to keep your footing and keep your grounding is it's an inside job. Your peace of mind is dependent on the amount of self-care that you have invested in. Those of us that have been laying down the layers of self-care over and over and going beyond just the mani-pedi into the real deep cleansing aspects of self-care, we're reaping the rewards of it. We're finding the benefit of it. Those of us that have been proactive, and this is number two, moving from proactive to reactive. Right now we're in a state of reactiveness. But those of us that have been proactive, maybe put away savings, maybe invested in our health and been taking better care of ourselves, maybe eating a little bit cleaner of a diet, maybe eliminating some of the toxins from our environment. Well, guess what? Our bodies are a little bit more robust right now. We have a little bit more peace of mind in what our bodies are able to do because we know that we're not battling as much inside. And it's never too late to start. In fact, the sooner you begin, the better. And you can start with something simple like just drinking more water, going to bed a little bit earlier at night. These are very small things that will pay you back in every moment of your waking life. These are proactive steps that will pay you back on the back end. So your peace of mind depends on it. Shifting from being proactive to reactive is what it's all about. And the third reason why right now is the best time to focus on your self-care, it's because taking care of you is taking care of others. I'm going to say that again. Taking care of yourself is taking care of others. So if you want to know how you can make a difference right now, the best and biggest impact that you can make is focusing on your well-being, focusing on your self-care, accepting this invitation that's being handed to us to put our attention on ourselves, to take inventory of what's settled and what's unsettled, to take inventory of your faith, to take inventory of what fears you still carry. Self-care is faith in action, because through self-care, you demonstrate your belief in your ability and your necessity for being here, being now, and for mattering. And this isn't to do anything other than to give you permission and to extend an open invitation for you to take right now to focus on yourself, to focus on your self-care, and understand that these are the things that nobody else can do for you. No one else can make sure that you have this solid footing within yourself. And during this time, during this uncertain time, during these shifting and changing tender times, I am putting out regular, ongoing, free, just gifting out to the world support trainings, different videos, webinars that I'm going to be putting out there. I've put together an entire holistic empowerment series that you can join at no cost at all to you. There's an option to donate, to be up front, to help to create and to distribute this out to everybody. But if you're in a position that you're not even in a place that you can donate towards this, just come, join it. Make your donation your activeness in your self-care. Let that be enough. And speaking of enoughness, as these waves through our society of fear, of worry, of doubt, of frustration, of limitation, as these waves come through, we're going to feel them. You're going to be impacted by them. This is part of the energy update that I wanted to bring to the table. If you find yourself having a hard time keeping your focus, keeping your grounding, keeping your assuredness within yourself, understand that you're getting hit by wave after wave after wave of all of this collective thought that's happening out here. So as you feel the waves of not enoughness, of guilt, of blame, or any other emotion that you find less than ideal, as you feel these waves come through, know that you're not alone, and know that it's not a sign that you are doing anything wrong, and accept it as an invitation to give yourself the loving support that the world may not be able to offer to you at this time. If you want more support and a little guided journey, I'm going to drop a link below. I'll put it underneath wherever you found this video. You can go to bit.ly/holistic empowerment and get all the details and sign up for that series. And I'm going to pull a card real quick to see if there's anything else that that the mermaids want to bring to this conversation. And I'm also going to invite you over to the Conscious Success community here on Facebook for a more in-depth reveal. And the card that is coming forward right now is card number 37 in this series. It is the Visions card. This card's been coming forward a lot lately. And the message it holds is psychic images, clairvoyance, seeing, out-of-body travel. Now, how I think that this card pertains to the conversation that I'm bringing to the table right now is that you have to get outside of yourself and take a look back in to take an honest inventory of how it is that you're really doing. When we're caught up in the story in our mind, when we're caught up in our fear, when we're caught up in our worry, when we're caught up in our doubt, it's hard to take that objective step outside of yourself. It's hard to see past what meets the eye. And that's part of the invitation that's being brought to us right now, this rich, rich, rich invitation that I cannot highlight enough. It is to look past what is in front of you, put more faith into what is behind that and what is within you than what meets the eye. And you can do that by putting self-care into action. That is putting your faith into action. That is saying, I have enough within me, and I can do this, and I am necessary. And the way that I live into my fullest expression is by taking care of myself like I am a necessary being, and like the way that I treat myself impacts others. Because remember how we started this conversation? That's one of the gifts that this current situation has brought to us, is to highlight and bring to the forefront of our mind how much we impact others. Our proactive steps to invest in ourselves and our self-care is one of the best contributions that you can make to this world. If it's not through the Holistic Empowerment series, find a way to plug in and to guide yourself through the process of deepening your self-care. Now is the time to do it. It will pay you back through this crisis and beyond. And if I can be a guide for you, I would be more than honored to do so. Hop over to the Conscious Success community, keep the conversation going there, drop your best tips below, and remember, we're all in this together. So reach out if you need support, and thanks for watching. Feel free to share this video with somebody else. And if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe while you're here. All right, I appreciate you. Bye.